all these trips, I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live, I don't know what these mad for. I just signed a deal and got a really big bag for it. Still at your mama crib, ain't getting money, you gotta ask for it. Tired of complaining, I gotta big change my situation. Looking at the view outside, I thought I would never make it. Every day they take, but that don't stop the money making. If you want it, go and take it, ain't no point in hesitating. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Ahead, we'll get a look at Jimmy Garoppolo and the San Francisco 49ers as they match up with the...
Okay, Coach. Well, with the Ohio River and the hills of Kentucky just to our right, we welcome you into Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the San Francisco 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. They'll have Jimmy G calling the shots. Grew up in the northern suburbs of Chicago, went to Eastern Illinois. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe he leans on a few other parts of the offense and hopefully springs a receiver or 2 free. And there's the pickup you want on first down. All offenses say, you get me 4 on first down, we'll take it. How about if you get 5? They'll really be happy.
They'll run with the former Viking, Jerick McKinnon. Malik Jefferson in there on the stop.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Garoppolo looking to throw on 3rd and 2. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
51 yards on the punt there. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 16. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. That's complete to John Ross. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
This is Joe Mixon, 4th in the NFL in rushing last season. And he's got the first as they'll bring him down at the 28-yard line. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I liked his focus there because he wasn't thinking about breaking that one big. All he thought about was, I need 1. Let's go get that. Ended up picking up 2.
Check. Watch it before. You don't want none.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Now he's hit, and Dalton lost the football. But I think a Bengal player was able to get in there. He was. And they'll keep possession of the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. That one good for 26 and a first down. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, getting stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
3rd down from the gun, Dalton. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
A nice-looking play to start the drive down the middle and complete. The extra effort after the catch makes it good for a gain of 26 and also a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Off the play fake to McKinnon, it's Garoppolo. The first catch of the game for George Kittle. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Garoppolo looks to throw. Sean Williams there defensively to break that one up.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Now Garoppolo on the bootleg. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Nick Vigil. The blitz works to perfection as he gets in there to dump him for a loss of 8.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. That last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a 3rd and long. On 3rd and long, it's Garoppolo. Over the middle, and he's got Goodwin complete. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
CD, you know there were quite a few Bears fans back in January saying, why didn't we hold on to that Robbie Gould guy?
Well, it's a legitimate question. 33 of 34 for San Francisco 2018. The crazy stat of the year, he missed more extra points, 2, than he did field goals, 1, in the 2018 season.
A reminder coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one from Atlanta. Eagles and Falcons, 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow on Monday Night Football, Odell Beckham back in New York, back in MetLife Stadium. Browns and Jets, 8:15 Eastern on Monday night. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
Now Dalton with a 1st and 10. And the catch good. It's Eifert. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was
under heavy pressure, and down goes Dalton on the sack. Credit the sack to Fred Warner.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half.
And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
And San Francisco gets set to go here. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Play action, Garoppolo. Deep ball for Goodwin. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, when you're playing cover 2, this is like a tag team for the safeties. Each of them gets a half-field responsibility. Their job, stay as deep as the deepest receiver in any zone, read the football, and go make a play. In this case, the free safety made the best play, an interception.
And Dalton to throw. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Jason Verrett, he'll get the sack as he provides the heat off the corner.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Second quarter, 2 minutes remain. 3-0 our score. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. And the 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Oh, they'll try and sneak this. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's Kevin Huber now as he's on to punt for Cincinnati. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. He was a 3rd-round pick, not rounds 1 or 2, but this franchise, they think he can be something with time.
There were a few teams that thought he would go in the 1st round, late in the 1st round. He ends up sliding to the 3rd. So a lot of teams think now maybe this group got a steal. They've got a chance to have a really good player here if he can develop.
They added a lot of talent to a roster that really needed an infusion of youth. They got a very good infusion of youth.
And they didn't really reach to get anyone as well. They stuck to their draft philosophy, got the best players they could at the time they were drafting, and inserted them into their lineup.
Now Garoppolo. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
It's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. Way back at the 17 now after the loss. It's 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. Complete to the tight end, Kittle, over the middle of the field. The Bengals going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through, and they're able to double their lead just before half. It's 6-0. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
Here we go with a player's spotlight, and we shine that spotlight. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. Inside of a minute left in the half, does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Play fake. Here's Dalton. He's got a man, and that's Alex Erickson. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Give him 30 yards there. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Dalton operating in the red zone now. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. Bullock's kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So if you like field goals, this is your games. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Bengal offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
And they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the third quarter. All they have so far, the field goal.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Dalton sets up play action. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. There he goes left side. And they will score. It's a 49er touchdown. Ah, yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
You're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski was an interception.
For different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a
too many syllables.
Yeah. You want to get it right down and gut.
Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They trail by 10, 13-3 as they come up on a 1st and 10. And now the throw hauled in by Green. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Dalton. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. Green once again the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and short.
But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Andy Dalton. And Eifert has it. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide it. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a 1st down.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Dalton. Green brings it in. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. Dalton to Green for a Cincinnati first.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. Third and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
They go back to the ground now with Mixon. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Early down stuffs will put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. The Bengals passing game finding a rhythm. They've got another first.
And I know you can't really see it, but that play spells frustration with a capital F for the guys on defense. They covered everyone else. End up going to the running back out of the backfield, and he picks up a back-breaking first down.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Watch twist. Hey. Watch twist.
So Dalton now. And that is incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. And it's 3rd and short.
They tried to make something happen, but that one came up incomplete and really wasn't a good-looking throw.
Yeah, maybe even go as far as to call that a little ill-advised.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's the right phrase for it. Definitely ill-advised. Just wonder about his mechanics right now, and that's the tough part. You do so much stuff in practice to make it repetitive, but it has to repeat under pressure, whether it's pressure from the defense or just the pressure of playing the game.
And Bullock will put this one through, and they will cut the lead back down to a touchdown now at 13-6. So they get the field goal, but that was a 14-play drive to get 3.
You sound like you're going negative on that.
I was.
Sounds like you're thinking the 3's just not that good.
And people say that we're negative sometimes. So.
Well, here's the deal. Getting the 3 is good. Obviously, you would think on a 14-play drive you're going to get 6 out of it. But that type of a drive can pay dividends later on because you might wear the defense down.
Garoppolo going to bring the Niners up here 1st and 10 at their own 24. To throw, it's Garoppolo. Over the middle, he finds Pettis complete. And nothing but daylight ahead. Touchdown, 49ers. Dante Pettis, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the 49ers add 6 to their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much.
And the Niners get there and bring him down. DeForest Buckner picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Here's Dalton. Green's got it over the middle. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 27 yards there, a first down. Fourth quarter, every drive so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
Now a man open down the middle of the field, and they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. This game not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Dalton, and this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. And off his back foot, he'll heave this one deep into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman.
Nice pitch.
On fourth down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, fourth down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
Got to figure now, after getting that turnover, they're just going to be happy to keep the ball on the ground, right?
This is where covering the football, taking care of the ball, all the ball security terms that have ever been used, they come into play for the guys on offense right now. Just take care of it, and they've got a good chance of ending up winning this game.
And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. The Niners on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This will be 3rd and 5. A shotgun snap for Garoppolo. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he's brought down short. 2 yards there, needed 4. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
A good start there on this fourth quarter drive. They need more of what we just saw.
Down a couple of scores. They're still tied.
I'm sure as a coach, when you throw the flag, you hold your breath, then you get the verification. And down he goes. The 49ers get there.
You better talk to your boy. You better talk to your boy. He will protect you.
Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
So the sack, and now it's 3rd and long for Dalton and the Bengals. Now Dalton. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything to warrant the flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. Now on fourth down here, that pass knocked away and incomplete. Adrian Colbert, he was right there in coverage. So still over 3 minutes remaining in this game, but boy, not getting that one that hurt.
That's a little bit demoralizing, so they have to be careful about that because still have an opportunity if they can get some things done on defense. But now, since they've taken over on downs, a team with the ball, guess what? Going to 4-minute offense, maybe they can put this thing away.
From the 30 on second down, Garoppolo under a heavy rush, and down he goes. The Bengals going to use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just one remaining here in this fourth quarter. That last sack, it puts Garoppolo and the 49ers in a tough spot. They face a third and long. On third and long, it's Garoppolo. Throw right side taken in by Pettis. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out. And this one is right down Broadway. And that'll push the lead up to 17. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
The Bengals offense now, they head back onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down...
And this is caught at the 20. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Bengal TD. Tyler Eifert, his second touchdown on the season. And the Bengals are able to cut into this lead.
You got to understand situational football because they're playing with the lead here late in the ball game. So the back defender has got to be as deep as the deepest receiver. Keep everything in front of you, rally up and make the play.
Yeah, you would think they had the 3-score lead. Now it's down to 2, but 3-score lead here late, that they wouldn't give up a big pass play like that, but they did. Down 2 scores, out of timeouts, a must recover if they're going to have any shot. And the 49er hands team does its job. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags. They're down here in the fourth, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration, not a good play.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory. Second down, McKinnon. Down right around the 25. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave them with still about 8 or 9 to go on third down. You can really tell right now both sides have amped up the aggressiveness. That time the offense winning the aggression back.
And the defense was obviously aiming for the football, maybe a little bit more so than the runner himself, and that's why he was able to break through and get the gain that he did.
Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a fourth down.
The best defensive lineman They play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands so they can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, defense.
Charles, did I just hear that right? They declined the personal foul. 3 yards, they just declined them.
And I have to think that the official is thinking to himself, did I just hear that correctly, that you declined that one? All I can think of is that someone on the field got confused. Because it had to, because you're going to take the yards on that penalty each and every time.
Elsewhere, fourth quarter score now for Baltimore. And the Cardinals continuing to surge. They've scored again. A win would be their second on the young season. Dalton and the offense now. Down by 13. A little under 30 seconds remaining. It's an extremely tall order in front of them, but they've got the ball with a first down.
56, Mike, 56.
Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
Try and get it all back with one big shot right there, but even if successful, that doesn't get them all the way back to where they need to be. Can't totally abandon throwing the ball underneath as well.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. It's the former Seahawk, Richard Sherman. And it's a huge return as he brings us all the way back down to the 15-yard line.
Here we go. Wait, 80! 57 to Mike. 57 to Mike. 6 man. Check.
Down to a knee goes Garoppolo, and that ought to do it.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Sometimes you get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
So the victory here for San Francisco, and this not always an easy proposition, Charles. You had a West Coast team that traveled east, but they got the job done.
And there's so much that goes into it because your body time and your body clock different from what you're used to west, because if you go east, you're going to lose up to 3 hours, right? So is your body going to be awake when it's time to play? A lot of teams actually rehearse it. They practice it. Maybe the week of the game, they move everything up to that time frame so guys get used to doing it that way. I remember when I played at Tennessee, when we had to go from east to west, our trainer Tim Karen said, leave your watches on East Coast time. Every piece of information we got was East Coast Standard Time. Try to psychologically tell us what to do, as well as prepare our bodies the same way.
So for San Francisco, they did what they needed.